Hello there, you're tuned into 7Edition. I'm Muhammad Ahmad Hamdan and these are your top stories. Government to review and tighten its immigration policy on foreigners. 10% surcharge at parking lots for touch-and-go users soon to be abolished. Good evening. We begin today's bulletin with this story. Sessions Court Judge Azmil Muntafa Abbas today was charged with accepting bribes linked with the detention and release of illegal immigrants last July. A Deputy Public Prosecutor Khairul Azwa Yusri Mohammed and private lawyer Noor Amirul Nazrin Anas were also charged over the same graft case. All three pleaded not guilty. They were accused of accepting bribes totaling 17,500 ringgit from Wong Chiu Hung to drop charges against 7 foreign workers when they were hauled up for prosecution at the Kuala Kubu Baru Sessions Court. Under the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Act, the trio face a jail term of up to 20 years and a minimum fine of 5 times the sum of the bribe or 10,000 ringgit, whichever is higher if convicted. The court set bail at 18,000 ringgit for Azmil and 12,000 ringgit with one surety for the other two and ordered them to surrender their passports. December 16th was fixed for the next court date. The Seremban Sessions Court today allowed a prosecution application to dismiss 2 charges of possessing items related to the LTTE terrorist group against Seremban Jaya Assemblyman P. Gunasegaran. Judge Madiha Harullah allowed the application submitted by Deputy Public Prosecutor Aslinda Ahad. The DAP Assemblyman allegedly had LTTE-related items at his office and home in Seremban. Gunasegaran, who was not present in court, was represented by 4 lawyers, led by RSN Raya, who is also the Jelutong MP. Also present was DAP National Vice Chairman M. Kulasegaran. On October 29th, Gunasegaran was charged at the Malacca Sessions Court with supporting the LTTE group and faced an additional charge at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court on October 31st. Moving on, the Kuala Lumpur High Court today ruled that PKR's Tian Chua's disqualification as a candidate in the 14th general election is invalid and that he is free to contest in future elections. It was ruled that the Election Commission's decision barring him from contesting in last year's GE14 was unjust and equitable. Tian Chua was disqualified from contesting for the Batu parliamentary seat because of a 2,000 ringgit court fine in a 2017 criminal case, a decision made by Election Commission Returning Officer Anwar Muhammad Zain. His reasoning was because the federal constitution disqualifies anyone from standing as an election candidate for 5 years after being sentenced a minimum fine of 2,000 ringgit. However, the judge that delivered the ruling today said a candidate could only be disqualified if fined 2,001 ringgit and above. Tian Chua said today's ruling was a clear endorsement that the Election Commission's decision to reject his nomination paper last year was unlawful. The 10% surcharge at parking lots for touch-and-go users will soon be a thing of the past. In the Dewan Rakyat today, the Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Deputy Minister explained that the surcharge abolishment will be done in phases as it is subject to the existing contract obligation. Chong Chiang Jen was responding to a question by Datuk Sri Dr. Wee Ka Siong on the matter, said the surcharge was inherited from the previous administration.
Touch and Go telah menjalankan inisiatif di mana Touch and Go akan memastikan semua kontrak baru atau pembaharuan kontrak pada masa akan datang tidak menggunakan sebaran surcharge yang berasaskan merchant discount rate, manakala untuk kontrak yang sedia ada yang berasaskan surcharge akan tamat tempoh secara berperingkat.
On the reload charge, he said that the 50-cent surcharge to top up the card was imposed by the operators of outlets that provided the service and not imposed by Touch and Go. There were in fact more than 2,800 locations nationwide, such as Touch and Go service counters and other retail outlets that did not impose the top-up surcharge. The Health Ministry is currently studying the possibility of growing hemp for research. Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad said the authorization would be subject to the Dangerous Drugs Act, where the ministry has the authority to allow public officials permission to cultivate the plant for the investigation. Speaking at a press conference, Dr. Zulkifli said his ministry is awaiting the study by the Water, Land and Natural Resources Ministry to present the study in the near future.
Ini tergantung kepada dapatan kajian yang dibuat oleh CATS, yang antara lainnya menentukan dalam suasana dan with all the soil dan climate dan segalanya, in that given the yield of THC itu semestinya kurang daripada 0.5%. So segalanya akan ditentukan oleh dapatan kajian ini.
He added that his ministry was taking a cautious approach before making a decision, as it was fearful that some might abuse it. At the same time, Pharmaceutical Services Senior Director Dr. Ramli Zainal said the growing of hemp is only for the production of its fibre for the study of its use in the cosmetics and food industries. The study of growing marijuana for medical purposes, however, has yet to be carried out. Clearing works are still underway to clear the landslide that occurred on Jalan Ayon Dialiman in Genting Highlands, which has blocked the access road to a hotel. The alternative route was opened today for some 200 staff and guests who were trapped in the area. The Pahang State Basic Amenities Public Delivery System and Innovation Committee chairman, who visited the area, said the wet weather and underground water flow contributed to the area's instability.
Setakat ini keadaan, kalau kita lihat sini, keadaan terkawal. Walaupun pun kita tengok masih ada lagi berlaku gerakan tanah sedikit, mungkin disebabkan oleh aliran air daripada atas tu masih lagi bergerak, dan dengan keadaan cuaca yang ada pada hari ini. Walaupun pun kita telah mendapat talimat daripada pihak JMG, mereka di peringkat sekarang ini keadaan terkawal dan mereka akan boleh memberikan laporan dalam tempoh 3 atau 4 hari lagi.
40% of the clearing work has been completed and the entire process is expected to wrap up by tonight. The massive landslide at 5 p.m. yesterday was captured on video by members of the public who were visiting Genting, but luckily no one was hurt in the incident. Two policemen died while another 3 were injured after a lorry rammed into a roadblock. The incident happened at 5:20 this morning in Pasir Gudang, Johor. At the time, 6 officers were manning the roadblock. Police say early investigations show that the lorry driver lost control and swerved to the left lane, ramming into 5 officers and a Land Rover at the side of the road. The policemen that died were from the Pasir Gudang and Taman Saintex police stations. The injured were being treated at the Sultan Ismail Hospital. The 47-year-old lorry driver, who suffered light injuries, was also taken to the same hospital. The Industrial Revolution IR 4.0 is expected to change the people's lives, including how they work and communicate. But it's a concern for the younger generation, especially new graduates, as many jobs will become obsolete. The Generation X and Y may survive the upcoming revolution, but for the Generation Z, as well as for the next generations to come, it will definitely be a challenging period for them. Because of this, it is vital for various players in the entire ecosystem, such as technology experts, private institutions and universities, to ensure that graduates and professionals remain relevant and competitive to meet market demands.
To face these upcoming IR 4.0 challenges, Malaysia Productivity Corporation (MPC) has joined efforts with the University Technology Mara's Faculty of Communication and Media Studies in organizing InnoCafe 2019. Held in conjunction with the annual Productivity and Innovation and Exposition (APEC) 2019, the program brought together students and industry big guns to discuss the future of IR 4.0 as well as presenting ideas for new projects and products.
By collaborating with all parties, developer of system, user of the system, researchers that find proven techniques, methodology, new products, we bring them together because we have to work together so that whatever that we develop is going to be owned up by everyone. It is going to be what we call is a Malaysian product. It is involvement of all parties. So we have to work. We have to definitely. So public sector, the business community, and also the academia.
The objective is to embed productivity culture among younger generations and groom future talents towards the era of digitalization and globalization. For the participants, it gave them the opportunity to get real-world experience working with the industry players and enhance their creative thinking as well as other skills. At the same time, this will also close the gap between the current industry requirements and the work readiness of graduates.
This event is actually showing us the graduate itself on what is the real world is like. How do you even present in front of your client? How do you even come up with an idea? How do you even try to figure out and also solving the problem of your client itself?
This is kind of new exposure to the students and a new experience for us to know more about Industrial Revolution 4.0. And this kind of events kind of give us new experience to collab with big brands such as MHB and Proton. So students are able to learn more through this experience.
The collaboration is also essential to integrate and align the initiatives and efforts to accelerate Malaysia's industrial implementation for greater productivity growth. By leveraging on IR 4.0 technologies, especially those involving virtual reality and augmented reality, organizations are also able to attain growth without compromising quality, cost, or time.
In terms of the industry, we can actually help organizations and the manufacturing and industrial organizations to save costs by making it digital. So you don't have to, everything can be duplicated. And in terms of risk, basically you train right in a digital format, so there's no risk.
About 90 students were involved with the joint activities, which were supported by Proton and Malaysia Airports Holdings Berhad.
Coming up after the break, dozens dead and injured in southern Thailand after suspected rebel attack. Details next. Welcome back. The government will be reviewing and tightening its immigration policy on foreigners, following reports that Malaysia is a preferred transit point for terrorist groups. Home Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said this may include reviewing the country's visa requirements or lack thereof for foreigners from certain countries.
Presently, citizens of less than 50 countries require visas to enter Malaysia, with citizens of other countries only requiring one for a stay exceeding a certain period of time.
Setakat hari ini, kalau mana-mana negara nak masuk ke Malaysia, ada pasport dan pasport itu tidak dianggap sebagai datang daripada negara yang bermasalah, maka mereka boleh masuk secara mudah. Tapi kalau perlukan visa, atas sebab-sebab tertentu, kita imposkan visa. Ya. Nah, itu yang peraturan yang kita ada. Tapi yang penting kita bekerjasama dengan bukan saja dalam negara, luar negara, badan-badan antarabangsa dengan pihak-pihak lain, negara lain pun ada menghadapi masalah yang sama. We share information. Jadi kalau sana kata pengganas ini masuk ke sini, bolos di Malaysia, itu bahaya bagi kita.
A recent US government report on terrorism named Malaysia as a source and transit point for terrorist groups like Daesh, Abu Sayyaf and Al-Qaeda. Yesterday, Bukit Aman confirmed Malaysia remained a transit point for terrorists as those entering from Middle East nations and certain African countries did not require a visa. Tan Sri Muhyiddin said the report was something that needed to be taken very seriously as Malaysia too has evidence of the country being used as a staging area for extremists. Bukit Aman records showed that since 2013, 38 foreign terrorist fighters who used Malaysia as a transit have been arrested. Some were prosecuted while others were deported.
In Thailand, 15 people manning a security checkpoint were killed when gunmen opened fire Tuesday night, the largest death toll in years. Local authorities said 5 others were also injured, while the victims' weapons were stolen. The dead were 11 local residents and officials, mainly defense volunteers on duty, who died at the scene. 4 wounded colleagues later succumbed to their injuries at the hospital. The insurgents approached the checkpoint on foot through a rubber plantation before attacking. They also reportedly used explosives and scattered nails on roads to delay pursuers. It also hindered emergency services rushing to the scene of the attack. The areas surrounding the checkpoints have been closed off and are currently under forensic investigation. Thailand South has been in the grip of a bloody insurgency that has killed over 7,000 people over the last 15 years. The incidents have been fewer in recent years, but the hits have been more intense. British Parliament was officially dissolved in the early hours of Wednesday morning. Prime Minister Boris Johnson will see the Queen at Buckingham Palace later to mark the start of the election period in the run-up to the December 12 polls. Parliament was dissolved or formally shut down at just after midnight, meaning all MPs revert to being members of the public. However, government ministers will keep their posts. The dissolution ended the shortest parliamentary session in over 70 years, with the Commons having met for only 19 days since the state opening on October 14th. The Conservatives will launch their campaign, with Johnson promising he can get Brexit done. Meanwhile, Jeremy Corbyn is aiming to pledge for real change under the Labour Party. Bizline. The government is scrutinising the various proposals received to take over Khazanah Nasional Berhad's 51% stake in Plus Malaysia Berhad. Economic Affairs Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin Ali said the government was evaluating the impact of the takeover from the financial aspect and in fulfilling the responsibility to the highway users by reducing the cost of using it.
Kita belum ada keputusan sebab sekarang ini dimiliki oleh Khazanah 51 dan EPF 49. Well, technically pun kedua-dua ini adalah investment arm of the government. Jadi kita melihat bagaimana mereka boleh membantu mendukung dasar kerajaan untuk mengurangkan tambang ataupun tol di lebuh raya yang berkenaan. Well, I've not seen the proposal kerana saya percaya perkara ini sedang diteliti oleh KKR. Okay?
Datuk Seri Azmin said this when asked to comment on a news report that the Finance Ministry would take over Khazanah's stake in Plus. The report said that the Finance Ministry is believed to be eyeing Khazanah's stake as Putrajaya seeks to prevent the much sought-after asset from falling into private companies. The Inland Revenue Board, IRB, is set to amplify efforts next year to tackle the issue of missing revenue from the shadow economy, which hovers around 30 billion ringgit. With that, more IRB staff will be channeled for enforcement from 60% currently to 80%, focusing on foreign business entities.
Kita akan menumpukan kepada pekerja-pekerja asing ataupun warga asing yang terlibat dengan shadow economy, di mana mereka menggunakan lesen atas nama orang tempatan dan kebanyakan mereka ini gagal membayar cukai. Jadi kita telah mengenal pasti mereka ini, terutamanya di Lembah Kelang, seperti di pasar-pasar borong, di dekat mall pun ada, dekat Jalan Tengku Abdul Rahman pun ada, ya. Dan mereka ni ada tauke dia, dan tauke dia sendiri pun orang asing sebenarnya.
Also in focus, locals that derive income from illegal activities such as illegal money lending, prostitution and drug dealing. Meanwhile, IRB has also begun conducting field audits since October following the completion of the Special Voluntary Disclosure Program on business entities that fail to provide adequate information. When we return, cemetery wedding photo shoot becomes a grave mistake. Don't go away. Welcome back. Bursa Malaysia closed lower in most of the index-linked counters today. This as profit-taking continued after gaining nearly 3.8% over the past 3 weeks. The benchmark FBM KLCI lost 3.5 points to 1,603.25 compared to yesterday's close. On to stocks to watch. Hartalega Holdings Berhad second quarter financial year 2019 earnings came in at 103.9 million ringgit, in line with expectations. On the contrary, the average selling price of its main product contracted further as competition in nitrile glove segment intensifies. Next, Fraser & Neave Holdings Berhad FNN's financial year 2019 performance of 419.8 million ringgit came in within expectations. Moving forward, the group's booming F&B Thailand business is expected to continue taking the lead, riding on its strong brand presence as a market leader. And last but not least, Sunway REIT's first quarter financial year 2020 distributable income of 73.7 million ringgit came in within expectation at 24% of the full year estimates. Its revenue grew by 8.1% year-on-year to 155.4 million ringgit, mainly attributable to the contribution from the newly acquired Sunway University and College campus and better performance across all segments, especially hotels. Now let's hop on over to Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making the rounds in the cyber world today. They say the sky is the limit when it comes to creativity, but that doesn't give you a free pass at being insensitive and disrespectful to others. Recently, a local bridal house went viral for their unorthodox photoshoot pictures, which sparked anger among netizens of Twitter giant over their distasteful concept. Here's the story. A bridal campaign shoot that has gone viral for all the wrong reasons. Inappropriate, insensitive, and downright disrespectful. Behind-the-scenes videos retrieved from the boutique owner's Instagram revealed there were actually several models who were involved in the shoot. Netizens criticized the wedding boutique for being inconsiderate and discourteous towards the deceased, saying they should be reasonable even if they plan to go viral. In response to the backlash, the boutique owner has since apologized over the incident and deactivated her Facebook account. Speaking to Harian Metro, she clarified that the photos were not meant to be used as marketing material and explained that she chose a location to be unique and stand out from others. And now updated as of 7 p.m, here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today.